This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
You're listening to the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast. And now, here's your host, Lisa Rangel.
Welcome and hello. Welcome to the 13th episode of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast. I'm Lisa Rangel, host of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast and founder of Chameleon Resumes. We are an executive resume and LinkedIn profile writing job search consultancy company that helps executives and high potential leaders land their next position faster. Today's podcast show topic is the 5 most common career mistakes that I see smart executives make. We're going to go over the 5 most common mistakes that I see accomplished people make all the time. With my 13 years of recruiting experience, 8 years of resume writing and job search consultancy experience, and 5 years of moderating LinkedIn's premium career group, where we have over 750,000 members, I can tell you that I see smart, accomplished, go-getting executives and professionals make these same mistakes over and over again. And I want to take the time to outline these for you today so you can be made aware of these career mistakes. And if you're doing any of them, then give you the resource that can help you with the solutions to correct these mistakes if you're making them. Doing proactive activities to keep yourself in demand when you don't need a job is the key element of the Pretend You're Fired Today action list, which we covered in the first episode. Keeping your network primed and active so you stay on top of your network's mind to create demand for yourself consistently. This is key. We want you to be in demand when you need it. So therefore, you need to create the demand for your skills when you don't need it so you can have it be there when you need it. This way, if your job situation changes unexpectedly, you already have that pent-up demand for what you do. What I cover with you today will help you make you aware of the common career mistakes. So again, we can help you correct them or even avoid them in the first place. So I have set up a job landing quiz. If you go to joblandingquiz.com and take our job landing quiz, you will see if you are making career mistakes that will prevent you from landing your next job fast if your current situation were to change unexpectedly. So we're going to go over some of the mistakes today, but also the job landing quiz will help you identify any additional mistakes, but it will also give you solutions to the mistakes I covered today and any other mistakes that you might be making that will come to light from that job landing quiz. So take the job landing quiz after this episode at joblandingquiz.com and get your score, and then apply our session today, and you will stay marketable to your network. This is, again, one of the many ways to have job security in today's economy and proactively take care of your career. In past episodes, we talked about the only way to truly protect yourself from job loss is to pretend you're fired today and make a list of the activities you would do to start finding your next job. Having this list in the works, always having this list in the works, and having your resume and profile ready and your network primed is the best path to always be working, create demand for what you do, have career continuity, and not have gaps between employment. As we said in episode 1, the first thing on that list, that Pretend You're Fired Today list, is dusting off that resume and getting it up to speed. And we covered this in the first 8 episodes. We looked at how the resume should be formatted, how it should be written according to today's trends and standards to maximize its impact. And then we've spent the last 4 episodes focusing on the other equally as important document, which is maintaining your LinkedIn profile. And today we move into career maintenance activities. And the first thing we're going to do is address the 5 most common mistakes that I, again, see smart people make every day. So let's dive into these mistakes. Let's see if you're committing any of these mistakes, and then we're going to go into the resources that you can obtain to correct them if you're doing them. So the first mistake that I see people make is that they do not keep a running list of achievements. They don't keep a running list of their wins in their current job. This is the step even before keeping your resume and profile updated. Before you even start writing these documents, you need a list of your accomplishments. Most people they just keep working, they keep doing what they do, and they never take the time to reflect and to measure what they're doing. They never take the time to document their accomplishments on any periodic basis. And then what happens is they have a job change, and then bam, they find themselves trying to remember what happened over the past year or 2 years or 3 years, and they're doing that recall process under pressure. I mean, this is very flawed. This is not the way to go about doing this. Trying to remember what you did a year ago or longer under pressure because you need it for the next job. I mean, it's just not wise. And I see smart people do this all the time. So this is a mistake we want you to avoid. The second most common mistake that I see people make is they simply eat at their desk too much. I was guilty of this for a good part of my early career, so I'm not being critical when I say this. I'm saying it because I did it. I worked through lunch at my desk to always finish work ahead of schedule, give the appearance that I was married to my job, and I was, so it wasn't even an appearance, I was. And I always wanted to appear like I was working. I viewed socializing at work as goofing around or not being serious about my work. And frankly, I never thought this about anybody else who socialized at work. But yet, I never wanted anyone to think that of me if I socialized at work. So I didn't socialize that much at work, especially in my early career. So do a gut check if you do this. And if you're doing this, I'm telling you, you're not keeping your network warm. You're not making connections. You're not deepening relationships with people that will come to be important to you to advance your career. And it's a mistake. The third mistake that I see accomplished people make is that they assume, since it's always been easy for them to find a job, that it will just always be easy for them to find a job. I mean, think about that statement, right? If it's always been easy, you're going to assume it always will be easy. Think about that statement for a second, especially if you believe that. It's insane, right? I mean, we would never tell our kids that if life has been easy thus far, it will always be easy going forward, right? We would never say that. We want to prepare them for setbacks. We want them to be resilient. We want them to be able to power through the tough times. Yet when it comes to our own career, I see competent people not prepare for potential career setbacks. They assume the smooth sailing that they've had in every job change up to this point will just continue for any future job changes. I mean, that's just mind-boggling to me. It's so not true. This mindset leaves many accomplished executives dumbfounded when the unexpected change happens to them and they don't know where to start and they don't know how to deal with it. This is a mistake that I see over and over again, and it pains me every time. So don't make this mistake. And you're not, because you're here. You won't make this one anymore. The fourth mistake that I see people make is they think job boards will be the resource they need to find a job if they're ever in a pinch. So low-level jobs and even some low to mid-level jobs are great to find on job boards, but mid to high-level jobs are harder to find on job boards. And these mid to high-level jobs are typically found through networking. So when an executive assumes that the next job will be found on a job board, because maybe when they were looking earlier in their career, they found a job from a job board, so they think that's how they'll find it for the next one. They then don't take the time to maintain their career networks because they don't need a job right now, and it's just a downward spiral without them even knowing it's happening. So maintaining your career network and not assuming the job board is going to be the resource that you use to find a job is the way to go. So you want to make sure you're not making this mistake, assuming that the job board is going to be the way you find a job. And the fifth most common career mistake that I see people make is they assume their boss knows all of their accomplishments. So they don't need to take the time to self-promote on a regular basis. They think, they're being annoying and the boss knows anyway, he or she's got my back. And the bottom line is your boss might be your biggest fan. It may not even be an adversarial relationship. And I'm telling you, even if they're your biggest fan, they're not on top of every awesome thing that you do. That is a fact. You need to tell them in a pragmatic way what you've accomplished thus far and do this on a regular basis. You cannot leave your career advancement in someone else's hands. You have to manage it. You have to take charge of your career and make the advancements happen. Do not mistake your boss's support as that they are driving your career, because they're not necessarily doing that. They need to know all of your achievements. You need to take the time to tell them. Don't fall into this assumption trap that they know everything that's great that you're doing and they know what you want next. Don't fall into that assumption trap. Avoiding these 5 mistakes will position you to keeping yourself in demand with your profession, within your industry, and even within your organization. You need to market yourself within your organization as well. By implementing these points into your weekly work life, and avoiding these mistakes on a daily basis, you will be helping your network keep you top in their mind. And when someone asks them for a talented person for what you do, they're going to think of you. You will find solutions to these 5 mistakes if you're making any of them, which I think most of us do. I know I've been guilty of many of these throughout my career. So it's humbling to come across these errors and realize, yeah, I'm making these despite how awesome in every other respect of maybe my career that I am. So learn these mistakes. And then learn if you're making these mistakes, and then discover the solutions to these mistakes, and discover any more mistakes that you might be making in our job landing quiz. Take the quiz. Go to joblandingquiz.com, take the quiz, get your score. We score you, and see how you would fare if you were posed with a situation of losing your job today. How fast would you find something? How knowledgeable are you about what you need to do to find your next job? So take the quiz, get your score. You'll be given access to free training that will give you the solutions to any of the mistakes that you're making that are covered in the quiz, in addition to mistakes that we covered today. So I'm so proud of you for taking these steps to making yourself marketable when you don't really need it yet. Addressing any errors you are making now when you don't totally need it is very commendable. Most people wait for the unexpected job change to happen. Then, they're backpedaling, trying to fix these mistakes and trying to take the steps that we discussed in past episodes as well. So they're trying to do it all, like under pressure all at once in a rush. So kudos to you. Big kudos to you for doing this before you need it. Bravo. And if you're currently not working and you're just starting to learn these mistakes and these other steps from the prior episodes, don't worry. The key is that you know what to do now, and you can take the steps now to correct your mistakes. So starting today, you know what to do and you can do it. So on that note, let's take action on today's episode. Take the quiz at joblandingquiz.com. See if you're making these career mistakes in addition to other mistakes that we cover in the quiz. Because if you're making these mistakes, it's going to hinder your ability to find a job and stay marketable if you happen to need a new position unexpectedly. Once you receive your score on the quiz, you will get access to the free training that will help you correct your mistakes. For the next few episodes of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast, we're going to continue to go through a list of tactics and activities that you need to do now, as if you were let go today, to ensure you're always ready for whatever the world brings your way. The first item on that list was your resume. The second item on that list was updating your profile, and you can review these in the past episodes. Today, we covered 5 common career mistakes, and in the next episode, I want you to learn how search firm recruiters work and then how to hire a recruiter. Knowing how third-party recruiters work now will help you work better with recruiters when you need them to help you. My friend saved me with her priceless advice. Pretend you're fired today, and I'm paying it forward with you. I ask you to pay this sentiment forward and share it with as many executives and high-potential professionals that you know who you feel would benefit from this build it before you need it advice. And to get a jump on this next item on the Pretend You're Fired Today activity list, which is to make sure you could successfully look for a job if your situation changed unexpectedly, or see if you'd be waiting for a job for a while because you're not sure what to do. Go take our quiz at joblandingquiz.com. See what career mistakes you are making and learn how to correct them with the free training that's coupled with the quiz. The next episode, we're going to discuss how third-party recruiters work and how to hire a recruiter. Thanks for joining me today, and we will pick up again in the next episode. Have a great week.
This is the podcastfactory.com.